Here is the intro video for Sunset Breeze RV at Sunchase RV Park. The speed limit is 5 miles an hour here. It's imperative if you're driving to the community center or the dumpster that's in the very back of the park that you do not drive 5 miles an hour. This is a kid-friendly park and there are children that play out in that area. Here's Sunset Breeze right here. I'm going to do a quick walk around on the outside so you can fully understand every component that exists on the outside of this RV. So let's start with the door first. This is where your lockbox is. And as you can tell, the lockbox opens this way. So be aware it doesn't pull down, it opens forward. There's going to be one key in there. And we ask that you, when you unlock it from here. Up and down in this RV is locked. When you turn it, it is unlocked. We ask that you do not lock and unlock this because it can break the key. It's just the way they're made. You can lock the deadbolt from the inside, but we ask that you do not lock it from the outside. So just use this top key and you will be fine. Let's go around to understand where the propane tanks are. We typically try to turn the water and propane off between guests, but if we have a same day checkout check-in, we can leave these on for you. So you'll see there's two compartments. The compartment to the right is going to be where your propane tanks are. And we have a big one and a small one right now. You want to make sure that if you ever run out of propane, the way you'll know is that your hot water typically stops working. So if you're trying to use water from the sink or shower and it's not getting heated anymore, you're most likely out of propane. But to make sure it's on, usually we ask guests when they arrive to turn this on. So right now this one is on clockwise. That turns off. And then to turn it on, turn it counterclockwise. Now if this propane tank runs out, what you would do is close this tank. This is the collar. You're going to sometimes hear a sound. That's a normal sound. So what we're going to then do is turn this piece over to this other propane tank, screw it in here, so screw that on clockwise. It's nice and tight. And you want to make sure this attachment piece is not going to be hit by the door. So I usually just kind of push it in so it's not falling out. One way to do that is to hook it right there at the top. So I kind of hooked it over. It's now attached over here. And then I would open up this propane tank. And now we got a connection from that side. This tank's still good, but I just went ahead and switched to be able to demonstrate how that works. Now let's move on to the sewage system. As you can tell, RVs have black and gray water tanks. They don't dump right into a septic like a normal house. So you'll see this hose goes all the way around to the back into the septic tank. It is not open. You're actually storing that water underneath the RV until it starts getting full. You know that when the shower starts filling up and it won't drain, or when, the toilet, you're trying to flush it and the water's just backing out. So this is your wastewater tank and sewage tank. This goes to your showers and sinks. This is to your septic system. So we always drain these toilet tanks first. So I'm actually draining it right now, and you can see it's actually going out. You can see it in that clear elbow draining out. And then once that runs, I'll let that run a few minutes. Then I'm gonna close it and then empty out the next tank. So we let that run for a while. There's not much in there, so it's finished. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one, and that's gonna drain out my bath. But you always wanna do the dark water first, and then you do the light, clean water last. And anytime you have to access the propane tanks or the sewage tanks, always make sure you close the door and just turn the knob on. This is the main power switch. You shouldn't have to ever worry with this, but that literally plugs into the RV and then plugs into your power pole over here. Also, if you see this gray line, that's where your main water is coming into the RV. You always ask before you say, hey, I have no water, to go ahead and double check. Make sure you have this turned off. So obviously you turn it right to turn it off. You turn it counterclockwise to turn it on. Very simple process. If we have any backup propane tanks, we don't right now because I have to go get them filled. They're usually stored back in this area. We do ask that you do not climb that ladder ever. That's just for my maintenance guy if he ever has to get up on the roof. So this is the complete outside of the RV, and that is your 2 parking spots for 2 cars. Do not pull right up to here. Stay towards the end of the RV in that area. Here's a quick video showing how the inside of this RV works. Now, I am recording this video after someone's checked in with their permission, so forgive the mess. First thing you'll see to the right of the door is this is the main light switch that's over the kitchen. All these are also different light switches that connect to different parts. You'll kind of figure it out as you turn them off and on what they go to. If you want to turn the light on the dining room off and on, there's a switch overhead that turns that off and on. Anytime you see these scone lights, there's little buttons next to them that you push, like so. I think that particular one actually does not have a bulb, but that's how those 2 lights work over there. And this light also is in the corner. You also will see sometimes these little puck lights. They have little switches on them. Obviously, they still have to be turned on from the other location, but they do have switches. I do have some lamps. There's an extension cord that runs to that. Over here, we do have a Roku-enabled TV, 32-inch, that does connect to the internet. Our high-speed internet is powered. There we go. That one does work. By a T-Mobile. That's a T-Mobile 5G gateway right there. That needs to be plugged up at all times to have internet. So it connects to this extension cord, which then connects that white extension cord. Do not unplug the white extension cord. That is where your internet is. We do keep a toaster oven here. This toaster oven is because RV stoves are very complex. People mess things up all the time. So we ask you not to use that, but just to use this simple, if you want to make brownies or cookies or chicken or whatever it may be. This is a very simple toaster oven. And then beneath that is your standard microwave. Also get a coffee maker. Over here, I'm just showing the basics of how you would light the stove. I just checked, and I think the people took the lighter out to use the grill at the community center. But if you ever do want to light one of these stoves, we usually keep a lighter here. What you would do is turn, say this is the back right, as you can tell, that'd be the back right. If I turn it to light, I would then light it with a lighter and then set it to whatever temperature I need it for. So make sure they're always turned off, but that's basically how you do it. Light, and there we go. Oh, this one actually has a sparker, my bad. So you would light it and then spark it. So I'll show you how to do that one more time. So let's do the front one. Set the light, turn the spark, and there we go. It lights itself. So once you are done, please always make sure these are turned completely off. So that's how the stove works. You don't need a lighter on this one. And currently this microwave is not working, so that's why we have the backup microwave, and we hope to fix that in the future. But this means it's working. This is the fridge unit. We typically just have it set on auto. It's running off electric right now. It's set on 4, not 5, the coldest. But this is an idea just of what it looks like. And it has little buttons. You want to make sure you hear it click when you close it. Some people leave them like that and they start melting. So just make sure it's closed. And an idea of the fridge. So this is the front door. If you ever have a power outage where certain outlets aren't working, or something like half the RVs aren't working, but the TV goes out but it's plugged in and nothing's working in that plug, this is your breaker box. So you can just open that up at any time and double check to make sure all the breakers have been flipped and on. A little bit easier to see with light, but the breaker box is right next to the front door, and that's where you flip breakers if you ever have any kind of power issues. Quick bathroom overview to understand how this works is everything's pretty simple. I mean, hot, cold water, etc. The biggest thing that is different is in the toilet area, you will notice there is a foot pedal. So if I want to get water, if I want to fill up the bowl, if I'm going to go number 2, you pull up on that, it starts filling up with water. If you do number 2, we ask that you fill up this bowl pretty high before you empty it. We prefer to put, please do not put tampons or any items into that toilet. We actually prefer, if you have like a Walmart bag, put your toilet paper in there and just dump it in the dumpster each day, because it prevents it from backing up. As I said, not like a normal house. If you're just flushing toilet paper with barely any water in that bowl, it will pile up in the tank below it like a teepee and literally clog this whole thing up. So we request you put toilet paper to the side, but if not, please fill this up really high before you then flush it. Never plunge an RV toilet. You can clean it, but never plunge it because it's a closed system and it's not good for it. And with the shower, just be mindful that you only have a 10-gallon hot water tank. So that doesn't hold a lot of hot water. So you can't really hang out here real long before you run out. Most people typically at their homes will if they take a 20-minute shower, you're going to burn through about 20 gallons of hot water. So you want to keep your showers kind of short in the RV. But once you run out, it does take about 7 minutes before it heats up the tank again and you're good to go. Quick explanation, we're in the master bedroom. This is the AC system above. You see on the right knob it's set all the way to compass, and the left knob is basically resetting to the fan. It's currently set on the fastest fan. You have the left one is medium fan and then low fan. If you click it on the other side, that's going to be just fan only without the AC system. Now in this particular RV, the master bedroom stays icy cold. Request, obviously, if you want privacy, you can slide the door shut. But we request that you leave this door open if you can at all times, because it helps keep, and the bathroom door, I mean obviously you're using it, keep it closed, but if you can, keep it open because it helps keep the whole RV cool. So please just keep that in mind. This is your main front entry door, and this is the AC system. Light on. That's right next to it. This runs the main living room, dining room area. So pretty simple, like most home thermostats. You would just set it, to the desired temperature you want, and then it's going to hold that temperature. And that's pretty much. We have disconnected all the slide outs. So these buttons up here, in case kids want to be playful, are not going to work. We've learned that the hard way from kids tearing up slide outs. None of the slide outs will go in and out. So those are disconnected. And that will be it. Also, if you're ever using a hairdryer or something in the bathroom and it quits working, you want to double check. This is the sink. There's an outlet right next to it where you can reset the outlet. You can just pull this out if you need to for a moment. And you'll notice literally it has a test and reset button. What you want to do is you want that light to be green. If it's not working, it's yellow, red, or not colored sometimes. You just have to push in that blue button all the way until you hear click and reset. It'll come back to green, and that'll work for you. Another recommendation we make to keep the air flowing, because our AC system in the master bedroom is brand new and it's super ice cold, is to help sometimes keep the whole camper cool. We'll literally plug in this fan. It's kept in the master bedroom. There we go, it's on. And what we do is just turn it right here. There we go. By doing that, it helps push some of the super ice cold air from the master bedroom into the rest of the living room, which cools this down even more on the hottest of June, July, August days. So this fan we do keep in the master bedroom closet right there, that mirror.